Hey guys, it's Margie, and today I'm doing a movie review of the 1996 film One Fine Day. This film starred Michelle Pfeiffer, George Clooney, Mae Whitman, Alex D. Linz, Charles Durning, John Robin Bates, Ellen Green, Joe Grafazzi, Pete Hamill, Anna Maria Horsford, Gregory Jabara, Sheila Kelly, Barry Kibble, Robert Klein, George Martin, Michael Massey, Amanda Peet, Holland Taylor, Rachel York, and Marianne Muellerlein. It was directed by Michael Hoffman, music by James Newton Howard, who I love with a passion, who's also done the music for The Hunger Games, Salt, Blood Diamond, The Village, Signs, Dying Young, Runaway Bride, Primal Fear, The Fugitive, everything else in the universe. The man has done everything. As I said, he did the soundtracks for The Village and Primal Fear, both of which I've done previous reviews of. Cinematography for this movie was by Oliver Stapleton, who also did cinematography for The Proposal and The Cider House Rules. Edited by Garth Craven, who also edited Legally Blonde and Turner and Hooch. Written by Terrell Seltzer and Ellen Simon, produced by Linda Obst, who also produced Hope Floats and Contact. Okay, so basically the story for this movie is kind of hard to explain, but there's this lady, and she's divorced, and she has a little boy. She has this huge day coming up with this big presentation, and then there's this guy. He, too, is divorced with a little girl, and he has a big press conference he has to do. Both of their children are supposed to go on a field trip and leave both of these people to do their normal lives. Both of their kids miss the field trip. Pretty much everyone else in their lives are unavailable to babysit the children. So basically it's the day of the two of them trying to juggle their and the other person's children because their children both go to the same school. Basically, honestly, it's just like one huge crazy day. It's the title, One Fine Day. Okay, cool. That's about all I can do for you. Sorry about that. Okay, let's talk about performances here. Michelle Pfeiffer plays the mother of a little boy, and basically because of George Clooney, who plays the father, her son misses the field trip, so she has to keep up with him for the day while trying to do her presentation, while trying to go to work, while trying to find someone to keep him, blah, blah, blah. I thought she did pretty well in this film, but this is typical Michelle Pfeiffer 90s work. She did a film with Bruce Willis that this really reminded me of in the 90s. I think it's called The Story of Us. People in their 30s to 40s falling in and out of love is essentially the type of movie this is, and she did several of those movies in the 90s. This is just another one of those type of movies for her, but I thought she does those movies, pretty well. So I thought she did pretty well. George Clooney, he did okay. He really didn't do anything to wow me. And to me, in some ways, he made the character a little too much egotistical. Because, yes, the character's kind of supposed to be a jerk, but then he's also supposed to be, at the end of the day, really sweet and endearing. And it never really got to the sweet and endearing part for me. To me, it was always just kind of like, ugh, this guy's a jerk. Which I think part of that's writing, but a lot of that was on him, I feel like. So he did okay, and he certainly, held up against Michelle Pfeiffer on screen. They both shared the screen together really well. He was not overshadowed or overpowered by anyone else on screen. But, to me, it was just it was pretty average. I'm sorry, he just didn't really do very well. Everyone else here, for time's sake, I'm just gonna kind of skip over them, other than just to say I thought that the supporting cast on the whole was pretty good. Mae Whitman did very well. She was a child at this time. She was probably 7 or 8. She did great work as a kid. she's still acting now. Anyway, she did well. Everyone else here I thought did well, but there's nothing that was just like, oh my gosh, or else I'd be telling you about it right now. Cool. Alright, the directing for this movie, honestly, I felt like it was kind of lacking. Guys, I felt like the whole, this was kind of like the ship without no port in the storm type of thing. I think he didn't know what he wanted. He was just kind of trying to get a mix of everything, but then one thing really overpowered throughout the film, which is just like, basically sarcasm and coldness, honestly. Like, both of the characters are kind of jerks, because they're very focused on their own agenda until the ending. I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. I'm sorry, the directing for this was not that good. It could have been worse. Oh, it could have been worse. But, you know, so could life. No music for this. Honestly, there was not that music in the film. Which I'm just like, what? You got James Newton Howard. Put in his score, please. Oh, beautiful. Anyway, there wasn't that much music in the film, honestly. Like, I really didn't notice it. But what was there was great. I wouldn't listen to it, like, every day. But it was definitely, he just delivers. That's all you gotta say. He just delivers every time, James Newton Howard. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Oh, okay, cinematography. I love him. I really enjoyed the cinematography because it really captured the type of day that the characters were having. Now, okay, in the defense of the director and the writers, this one fine day that the characters are having is really like the worst day of their lives. So it's understandable that they could kind of be jerks. But I thought the cinematography really made everything seem very glum and just not gonna go right, and I really like the cinematography of this a lot, actually. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, cinematography, but it was like, you're doing your job, good for you, cool. The editing for this film drags until you just think, I'm just going to drag myself to the edge of the world and jump off. Oh my gosh. It really wasn't that bad. But, I mean, I was just like, will you end? Will you please end? End! Sorry. I just was ready for it to be over. It was so draggy. Like, by the time you reach close to the end of this day that you've gone through with the characters, you're just like, end already! Good night! Other than that, it was good, though. Okay, the writing. Totally average to me, honestly. I'm just being honest, there was nothing really witty or great that stood out in the whole movie. Maybe like a couple lines I actually chuckled at, but the rest of it was just like romantic comedy, only it's not romantic and it's not comedy. So, yeah. Okay, let's get into the parents' guide for this one, friends. The language is like non-existent on this film, so that's a plus. 2 uses of S, 2 uses of GD, and 1 use of D. 2 sexual references, no religious exclamations. There's not really any sexual content. Drug and alcohol, there's some, like, I think there's like a couple glasses of wine or something. Violence and gore, no, there's a couple moments of peril where one of the kids gets lost, but other than that, nah. So yeah, Parents Guide, it's actually pretty clean. Let's talk about the special notes. I really hate to be so hard on this film, but it just is so, the pacing, anyway, special notes, this movie drag seems like it will never end. That's a problem. That's like one of the worst things that can be true of a movie is like, just end. That means that A, the viewer is not enjoying the movie, and B, it's too long. On the whole, no. Okay, guys, I'm giving this film 2 stars out of 5. Would I watch it again? No. That's not even a question. Like, if you love this movie and you think it's beautiful, that's beautiful. But I just did not enjoy it, and I really didn't think that there was anything particularly, like, stride in film, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, this is awesome, you're contributing to the world of film. Did not have that moment with this movie. It was like, oh, another one of these. You know what I mean? Except for James Newton Howard, who's beautiful in every way. Anyway, guys, thank you so much of watching my review of the 1996 movie, One Fine Day. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. Tell me what you thought of this movie if you've seen it. And I'll see you guys in the next movie review with Margie.